Psalm 23 may be one of the most quoted passages in the entire Bible. Yet it is also one of the most misunderstood. People recite it at funerals. They whisper it in hospital rooms. They memorize it as children and return to it in moments of fear. For many believers, it feels familiar, comforting, and beautiful. But familiarity can sometimes hide depth. Because Psalm 23 is not just a soft poem for hard days. It is a revelation. It is not merely a collection of tender words about God making life easier. It is a declaration about what kind of God walks with his people, what kind of care he gives them, and what kind of life becomes possible when a soul truly lives under his shepherding. Most people stop at the opening line, "The Lord is my shepherd." And yes, that line is powerful. But David was not offering a religious slogan. He was unveiling a spiritual reality that reaches into every corner of human life. Provision, rest, peace, healing, direction, courage, protection, victory, eternal security. Psalm 23 is not just about comfort. It is about transformation. The hidden secret is this: David is not mainly describing a better set of circumstances. He is describing a deeper kind of relationship. That changes everything. Because many people want the promises of Psalm 23 without understanding the position from which those promises flow. They want peace without surrender. They want provision without trust. They want restoration without following. But David ties every blessing in this psalm to one foundational truth. The Lord is my shepherd. Not just a shepherd. My shepherd. That is personal. That is intimate. That is a relationship of dependence, trust, nearness, and daily guidance. David understood this in a way many people miss, because David had lived on both sides of the image. Before he was king, he was a shepherd. He knew what sheep were like. He knew how helpless they were, how easily they wandered, how quickly they panicked, how completely they depended on the one guiding them. So when he called God his shepherd, he was not choosing a poetic image because it sounded nice. He was confessing a truth about himself. Without God, he was the sheep. That is why Psalm 23 is so life-changing. It forces us to decide whether God is simply someone we admire from a distance or someone we actually follow. The blessings of the psalm are not random rewards handed out to everyone who likes the verse. They are the fruit of being led. So today, we are going to walk through the secret most people miss. Not just what Psalm 23 says, but what it reveals. And if you truly see it, you will never read these 6 verses the same way again. Because the deepest promise in Psalm 23 is not green pastures, still waters, or a table in the presence of enemies. The deepest promise is the shepherd himself. David begins with a line that sounds simple until it starts rearranging the heart. The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. That does not mean a believer will receive every desire they imagine. It means something deeper. When the Lord truly becomes your shepherd, the soul begins to discover that its deepest needs are found in him. Provision is no longer measured only by possessions. It is measured by presence. That is the first secret most people miss. God is not just the one who gives provision. He is provision. As long as David had the shepherd, he knew he would never lack what was necessary for the path God had assigned to him: peace, wisdom, strength, correction, courage, daily bread, and sustaining grace were all included in the nearness of the shepherd. That truth confronts modern anxiety at its root. We live as if security comes from having enough money, enough control, enough options, enough reassurance. But David says security begins when a person can say, "The Lord is my shepherd." That sentence cuts through fear because it places confidence not in circumstances, but in the character of the one leading. Then David says, "He makes me lie down in green pastures." That line is just as striking. Sheep do not lie down easily. They only rest when they feel safe. If they are afraid, hungry, irritated, or agitated by the flock around them, they stay standing. So, if the sheep are lying down, it means the shepherd has done something powerful. He has created an environment of security. That is the second secret. Rest is not found in the absence of trouble. It is found in the presence of trust. Many people stop working but never truly rest. Their bodies slow down, but their minds keep racing. Their thoughts churn with regret, fear, tension, and imagined disasters. But Psalm 23 reveals that real rest happens when a soul becomes convinced that it does not have to carry the future alone. Notice the wording carefully. He makes me lie down. Sometimes God has to lead us into rest when we would never choose it on our own. Waiting seasons, closed doors, interruptions, disappointments, even painful pauses can become the green pastures where God teaches the soul to stop striving and start trusting. That is not cruelty. That is mercy. Because a restless sheep is vulnerable, and a restless heart is no different. God does not lead us into rest to slow our purpose. He leads us there to protect it. And that brings us to the next hidden truth. Once the shepherd provides and settles the soul, he does not leave it there. He begins to lead it into peace. David continues, "He leads me beside still waters. He restores my soul. He leads me in paths of righteousness for his name's sake." Each phrase opens another layer of the secret. Still waters are not just pleasant scenery. They are a picture of peace that can actually sustain life. Sheep are afraid of rushing water because it feels dangerous. Their wool becomes heavy. The current can overwhelm them, so a good shepherd finds water they can approach without fear. That is exactly what God does for the human soul. He does not lead his people deeper into chaos. He leads them toward a peace the world cannot manufacture. That peace does not depend on a calm environment. It depends on a reliable guide. This is where many people get Psalm 23 wrong. They think peace means the storm But biblical peace often means the shepherd stays close enough that the storm no longer defines the sheep. Then David says, "He restores my soul." Not I restore myself. Not time restores me. Not success restores me. He restores my soul. That may be one of the most healing lines in the entire psalm. Because human beings break. Life wounds. Sin distorts. Loss strains. Shame exhausts. Some people walk around functioning on the outside while quietly collapsing on the inside. But David knew there is a kind of damage only God can reach. The shepherd does not just guide strong sheep. He restores weak ones. That is the hidden mercy here. God does not love us only when we are useful. He comes after us when we are weary, wounded, and unable to stand straight. His restoration is not shallow encouragement. It is a return of life. And then David says, "He leads me in paths of righteousness for his name's sake." That means the shepherd is not only interested in making us feel better. He is committed to leading us rightly. His care is moral, spiritual, and directional. He guides the soul away from destruction and into the kind of life that reflects his character. That is crucial, because many people want divine comfort without divine direction. They want God to heal them, but not to lead them. They want peace, but not obedience. They want restoration, but not righteousness. David shows us that the shepherd gives all three together. And the reason he does it is profound. For his name's sake. In other words, God's guidance is rooted in God's character. He leads because that is who he is. His reputation is tied to the faithfulness of his shepherding. So, when you do not know which step to take, the deepest comfort is not confidence in your own clarity. It is confidence in his character. He leads because he is the shepherd. And once that truth settles into the heart, even the valley begins to look different. Psalm 23 now turns from soft fields to dark valleys. Even though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for you are with me. This is where the deepest secret comes fully into view. The psalm does not promise a life without valleys. It promises a shepherd within them. That distinction changes everything. David does not say he avoids the valley. He says he walks through it. The valley is real. The fear is real. The danger feels real. But the final word does not belong to the valley. It belongs to the one walking beside him. Notice the shift in language. Earlier David speaks about God. Now he speaks to God. You are with me. In the valley, theology becomes intimacy. That is where many believers discover the shepherd most clearly. Not when life is easy, but when the darkness forces them to stop pretending they can lead themselves. The valley strips away illusion and reveals the closeness of God in ways comfort alone never could. Then David says, "Your rod and your staff, they comfort me." At first, that sounds strange. A rod was used for defense. A staff was used for guidance and rescue. One fought off predators. The other pulled wandering sheep back to safety. Together they reveal that God's comfort is not passive. He comforts by protecting and correcting. That is another secret most people miss. God's correction is not the opposite of his love. It is proof of his involvement. A shepherd who never confronts danger or redirects wandering sheep is not kind. He is negligent. So, when God protects, restrains, convicts, or redirects, he is not abandoning us. He is shepherding us. Then David reaches a breathtaking line. You prepare a table before me in the presence of my enemies. God does not always remove the enemies first. Sometimes he reveals his care by blessing his people while opposition is still watching. That is what victory looks like in Psalm 23. Not the absence of enemies, but the presence of divine favor that enemies cannot cancel. Then comes abundance. You anoint my head with oil. My cup overflows. The shepherd is not stingy. He is not barely enough. He is generous. He heals, protects, and pours out more than survival. He gives overflow. And the psalm ends with one final secret. Surely goodness and mercy shall follow me all the days of my life, and I shall dwell in the house of the Lord forever. Goodness and mercy are not occasional visitors. They are covenant companions. And the destination of all shepherding is not merely a better life. It is home. So what is the secret of Psalm 23 that changes everything? It is this. The power of the psalm is not found mainly in the gifts the shepherd gives. It is found in the shepherd himself. That is why David can speak of provision without panic, rest without escape, peace without perfect conditions, healing after pain, guidance through confusion, courage in the valley, protection under pressure, victory in front of enemies, and hope that stretches all the way into eternity. Every promise in Psalm 23 flows from one relationship. The Lord is my shepherd. That is the center. When that truth becomes personal, the psalm stops being a comforting piece of poetry and becomes a way of life. You stop reading it like a distant promise and start receiving it as a present reality. The green pastures may not always look the way you expected. The still waters may come in the middle of a storm. The valley may still be dark. But the shepherd remains the same. And that is enough. Enough for provision. Enough for rest. Enough for peace. Enough for healing. Enough for courage. Enough for the journey home. So, do not miss the secret by focusing only on the scenery of the psalm. Look at the one leading through it all. Because the greatest promise in Psalm 23 is not that life will always feel safe. It is that you will never walk it alone. The shepherd who guided David still guides his people now. He still provides. He still restores. He still leads. He still defends. He still prepares a table. He still pours out mercy. And he still brings his sheep home. So wherever you are today, do not just admire Psalm 23. Step into it. Trust the shepherd. Follow his voice. And let the truth David discovered become the truth that changes your life forever.